You ever feel like you're banging your head against the wall when you're trying to communicate with somebody? Well, I'm going to share with you 5 common mistakes and how to avoid them when communicating. I'm Tony Aragon from Plan Nirvana. I got me a little boo-boo right here. I decided to go ahead and shave off half my face. Here I am again at wonderful. Here I am again at. Here I am again. I don't know where to look at this camera. Here I am again at Carpenter Lake. It's been a little while since I've been able to do some recording here. One of my favorite little places to come. I love the water and the greenery. It's a really cool place to be. You know, communication. We've been kind of talking a little bit, and I talked about the what I call my 5 pillars of change. Right, having the ability to change your environment, to be able to construct your environment and the way that you would like it to be. And so I'm going to go on to number 3 on that particular one. It has to do with communication. And I think this is a very important topic on pillars of change that I think I'm going to give it a few videos before I really kind of finish this. I think there's a lot on this topic. It's one of the things that we do the most. And I've learned some of these over the courses of being in the business life, communicating with people, and trying to be a very effective communicator. So I'd love to be able to share them with you. And so I'm going to share with you 5 of the most common mistakes I know when I get out of whack on my communication. These are usually the reasons why. And the first one is my family used to sit there and say that I was a terrible communicator because I was always vague. And really kind of when you're vague, it gives you muddle room to be able to do, not completely everything you really wanted to do. And so it's important that you have clear, concise idea. Think about what you're wanting to say before you say it, so that way you have very clear and concise communication to the other person. You're not vague anymore. See, unfocused mind is going to give you muddled communication. And also, it's going to lead into the second one. I know that when I've been vague in my communication, basically I turn very long-winded, and I just talk and talk and talk and talk and talk and talk. And really, I want to be in this busy environment, this busy life that we have, our to's and fro's, our do's and our don'ts. Really, our communication should be very, very concise. Let's get to the point. Make sure that we don't waste other people's time, so that way our communication is very effective. And that's really what you want. You want to get your ideas over to the other person as quickly and fast as possible. And if you're long-winded and you're vague in that, then you're not going to be a very effective communicator. To be able to be clear on your topics, clear on your communication, you need to be honest about it. And a lot of people, sometimes their communication, it's not necessarily a downright lie, but it has some hidden agenda. And so it is important that if you're a communicator, that you communicate with integrity. Real idea of integrity is being able to stand today on what you said and did yesterday. See, you want to make sure that in your communication, you are a person of integrity. That way your communication is effective. It gets across and people can stand on what exactly you're saying. It is also important that you choose the right method of communication. We live in a world where text messaging, Facebook, Instagram, these are the ways that we are communicating with people. And sometimes people cannot get the feel of what you're trying to communicate via these written forms, that you need to pick up the phone and you need to call. I cannot tell you how many times I have miscommunicated or had miscommunication with people around me because I've chosen the wrong method. So I've learned over the course of many years that sometimes I need to make sure that I have and have chosen the correct method of communication. So that way, no pieces, no nuances of what I'm trying to get across is missed. Or if I've had moments that I know miscommunication is happening, then I will just pick up the phone and I'll call the person. Or it's faster to communicate this way without any other questions. And really, lastly, and most importantly, it is important that when you're trying to communicate that you are listening as well. Not listening to respond, but listening to understand. And there's a real big difference between the two. You see, for effective communication to happen, both parties need to talk and both parties need to listen. You see, two people talking is just arguing, and we really want to get away from that. So, to recap, to be an effective communicator, you need to avoid these 5 things. You need to not be vague. You need to make sure you get straight to the point and you're not long-winded. That you are honest about what you're trying to communicate. You have integrity. That you have chosen the correct method of communication. And most of all, you need to listen. Those are the 5 things to be an effective communicator. I'm Tony Aragon with Plan Nirvana.